Hi guys. Now I'd like to discuss the concept of act and potency, as it's usually considered in an Aristotelian or scholastic vision of what reality is and how to parse the metaphysical situation that we find ourselves in the most basic possible way. Of course, the question of act and potency and the theory of act and potency emerged in ancient Greece, mainly because of two philosophers, Heraclitus and Parmenides. Now, Heraclitus believed that reality was a constant state of flux. Reality was change. Nothing was stable. Nothing was eternal. It was a pure state of hysterical flux. And Parmenides believed the opposite. He believed that reality was always one, total, and whole, and the changing nature of things was an illusion, masking a totality that was already complete and unchangeable. Well, Aristotle came around after Plato handled the issue as well, but Aristotle came around and really specified the theory of act and potency, that we can make sense of how the world can be both changeable and have actual causal activity within it, while still maintaining the reality of something transcendental, complete, and one. And this is the theory of act and potency, basically that things are either actual or potential. Some things might be necessarily actual, and other things might only be potentially actual. And I think we've reached the point now where we can start to really isolate metaphysically what ultimately are these things. What is the ultimate case of potentiality and actuality that everything's kind of a drizzled down explanation from? And it's a key point to understanding what omnipotence and what God's omnipotence means. And it is this: the only things, ultimately, that exist in potential are possible shapes of experience, qualia shapes, actual units, quantum, if you will, quantum units of existential understanding in itself, actual states of being, contingent, unactualized, but potential states of being, which are necessarily associated with one or more, usually probably more, possible abstract logical causal mechanisms, which could, if activated in a certain way, in theory, generate the information structure that is the shape of that experience. These shapes and the logical mechanisms which have to be perturbed somehow in order to generate the shape in actuality, in being, in consciousness, represent what is possible. The question is, in this set of possibility, what states are necessarily actual, if possible, then also if actual, then also possible, I should say. If actual, then certainly possible. Which of these possible states are actually necessary to be, which we would call God? And which of these states are truly, on some fundamental level, contingent? Reality could have existed without this state becoming real, actualized, and made illuminated by light from within the qualia shape. If we can reduce all of the question of act and potency to this dynamic, to ultimately the thing which actualizes qualia shapes, the thing which ultimately is perturbing the logic itself, and underlying the logic and perturbing the logic to create qualia states, can't be anything in any world, and there's no world here. It's just abstraction. It's the absolute possible, largest plenum of possible abstraction, made of all possible logic gates and potential geometric shapes of experience. God's singular omnipotence is his ability to perturb the mechanisms and generate qualia itself in consciousness, isolated contingent states which are nonetheless, when made actual, participate totally in the fullness of being, in the sense that they are actually existentially free, unique instances of being that have been actualized from outside, ultimately from outside the system, where there exists a qualia space and qualia shape, which nature is pure actuality. Its nature is that it contains within its own understanding of itself, its understanding of the actual potential of being, complete within itself, understandable that it alone contains all possible potentialities in a real way. You know, it contains the possibility to actualize the potentialities in itself. Act and potency is the correct way to go back to thinking about metaphysics. It is so important in our modern era to return to the theory of act and potency. Something to think about. I would love to hear what you guys think. If you want, God bless you. And again, remember, God's omnipotence is the power unique to God to actualize the qualia shapes themselves by providing the electricity that makes the mechanisms go, essentially, if you want a metaphor. Okay, bye.